Hello once again. Welcome to the youth segment of The Sage. We started a discussion in the last episode. We're talking about young people coming together with one voice, with one mind, as a movement in ensuring that we vote credible candidates come 2023. We have discussed on how vital our voice is, how important it is that we don't sit on the fence or just assume that our votes don't count. But we need to get involved because we are the most affected at this point. That being said, we're diving deeper. So in this episode, we're going to talk about the electoral processes. I'm sure as a young person, when you hear INEC, elections, PVC, you're already tired and stressed. We'll try and make it as simple as possible, just to encourage you to be part of the movement. So we're going to talk about the PVC process as it is now. We're going to talk about the electoral process. How is it to vote? How do you vote? What are the loopholes that we have noticed that we hope INEC can make the necessary changes before the election begins? We're going to talk about the candidates. What are the qualities we're looking at for credibility? We're not, by the way, we're not pitching for anyone here. We just want credible candidates. So we're going to talk about the qualities. How can you support as a young person? Do you know that there are other levels of elections aside presidential? All this and more on this episode. So stay tuned. It's going to be a long ride. We'll be back. Okay, so I'm sure you already know some familiar faces already, but just in case you're new to the Sage, I'm going to introduce them to you. There are 4 major discussants on this issue of 2023 elections. They have been major parts of our discussion so far, and today's episode is going to be interesting because they're ready to dish out a lot of information. But first, we have Ms. Chinelo Ezekwe. She's a media personnel, and she's a passionate young Nigerian. When it comes to Nigerian issues, she's ready to speak up. So welcome to the Sage.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
So of course, we have Ms. Rachel Bob, my amazing lawyer, but also a businesswoman, CEO Healing Hand Spa. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
And to my far right is the CEO of Sem Food and Spices, Mrs. Ngozi Roland Onegwowoke.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show again. And yes, the man on the scene, blessed amongst many women, Mr. Eric Ochibo, CEO St. James Point.
Thank you very much.
I have to say that the two on this side and the lady on our far left are actually alumni of the C4C Global Entrepreneurship Program.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
yay. Proud alumni. Because one thing about us as an organization is that C4C is passionate about young people. We are not just all talk. We are behind the scenes doing the work too. So, you're all welcome to the show.
Thank
you.
Let's get into work. We'll be back. Welcome back. So you've met our discussants. So we're diving into the conversations. And first on the list is our PVC. I am on that boat too. I'm trying to get another card. But I'm wondering, should the process take this long? Should it be hard to get your PVC? And what happens to the 1.4 million that were cleared as invalid, which is actually half of the new registrations that were received this year? So first, I'll turn to you, Rachel. As a young person trying to get their PVC, to make sure that they are eligible to vote. Okay, fine, registration has closed, but what happens from now on?
Okay.
We that have registered.
So if you've registered to get your PVC, so if you registered June of 2021 to 15th January 2022, your card is ready. That's what INEC said. Your card is actually ready for you to collect. So for 16th of January to 30th of July, I think, to July, yeah, is October next month. So I'm in that category. So I have to go get my card in October. That's next month. So for anybody after July, is in November, you get your card.
Okay.
So please note the dates. If it's 15th of June to 15th of January 2022, your card is ready for collection. So for 16th of January to July 2022, collection is in October. From July to, when did they end?
It was August because they extended, yeah.
August.
Yes.
Wait till November to get your card.
So basically, everybody should have their cards before the end of the year.
Yes, everybody should get their cards before the end of the year. So if you are in the category of you didn't get your card, there's something wrong with your card, your number or whatever, you didn't capture, please go to INEC office. Don't waste your time with websites. Because I did that when I wanted to register. I waited for them. They said, okay, when you register, we'll call you to come in for capturing. I didn't get that. I didn't get the email. I didn't get the text. Nothing. Even call, I didn't get. So I was like, I can't sit here and wait for them. I want to vote. So I went to the INEC office in Area 10. I didn't even mind the queue. I want to vote. So I waited, did the capturing and everything. So don't wait for a text message. Yes, some people got the text message. Some people got the emails. But be proactive. Go there, ask questions. The officials are there for you. So go there, ask questions. Tell them, okay, this is it. They'll put it through. Because when I went there, they put me through. And one thing I can say about the INEC officials that I met, they were very cautious. They were very nice. They were not rude. They answered my questions very well, and they made everything very simple for me to understand. Again, INEC is going to start employment of ad hoc staff. As an ad hoc staff, you are not allowed to vote. Please, if you did not get your PVC, this is something you can do for us.
If you didn't register,
Yes, yeah.
as a young person, but we'll still get to that because
Yeah.
we're going to talk about how a young person can, even beyond voting, can be active part of the electoral process. So we'll come back to that. But my concern now is still on those 1.4 million. What do you think can be done? What are concrete suggestions we can give? Because, okay, they said there were a lot of duplicate registrations, so they were cancelled. What do we do? Do they release a list? I don't know, Eric.
Yeah, very importantly, I want to say it's unfortunate for those who had fallen into that category of people who are disqualified or who have been flagged as double registrants, and they're going to delete them out. Because a lot of energy, a lot of time, a lot of stress had gone into it.
Yes.
And you find out that all that was in futility. But don't be discouraged. I think at this point, INEC will have to help the people involved. One, there should be a display of name. Let's know who is involved. I don't know if I'm involved.
Yes,
We don't know
I
who is
know.
who. They just told us numbers. We don't know who is who. So we need to know who is involved. There's need for INEC to tell Nigerians who are those affected, like published names, or let us know. Send emails. I think published name will be better so that people can really go and check. So that we don't hide under the guise of network or here and then you didn't get the mail or you didn't get a text. So I think I would suggest that INEC publishes the name and tell us what next line of action to take. Now, for those who are accurately captured, the dates are out for when your PVCs will be ready. We don't know which category those who had these challenges fall into right now. Some persons had registered before now, maybe in 2019, in 2020, thereabout, but they don't have their card. They want to get the card now. We don't know where they fall into in this category, in this list, or in these dates they've given to the public now. So I think it's important for INEC to give us a list, tell us the next line of action. Then as young people in Nigeria, this shouldn't deter you. You've gone through a lot of stress. I know you can imagine what people went through to get registered. If for any reason you fall into this category, please let that be a motivation for you to go and follow the next steps. INEC will let us know. Don't say, I've done my best and this way it ends, and it ends there. No, you would have suffered for nothing. So I would suggest that once the list is out, and I think INEC should do that as soon as possible,
But
so that
should they just cancel it? If they have a
No,
duplicate,
no,
why
I
not
think
just take the duplicate
yes,
out?
yes. I think that's what is really happening because it's electronic, and once your data is in the archive, it comes in again. It's going to flag. It should flag it up. It should flag it up. In fact, as little as copying files from your phone to your system, if it has copied before and you're copying it again, it will flag it. So that means this existed in the archive or where you're copying to.
Just put it
So,
down
so
on
it will
the
just
archive.
yes, it will just flag it up. So that and again, that is to maintain the sanity of the voter register. So if you have two or three, one person registered 2-3 times, it will destroy the integrity of the voters register. However, having flagged those persons, it's important for the persons involved or affected to know that I'm one of those. Okay, maybe the one I did before still existed. There are some people who actually registered before, and we are told that they were invalid. So maybe I was valid before and I didn't know. Maybe I felt I was one of those who was invalid, and so not to take chances, I went to register again. So people like that should be meant to know what their status are and how to get their PVC, because it's very important for them to get their PVCs ahead of 2023
why
elections.
this is actually a major part of this conversation is because 80% of people that turned out this year to register are actually young people. So we're saying tentatively it's likely that almost 1.4 million invalid are actually young people. So you're telling a young person that he made effort, but his effort didn't count. So you're actually encouraging him to just draw back. But we are saying, no, do not draw back. You don't have to get disenfranchised. Go to an INEC office. Find out the status. You can actually find out from what Rachel said, the status of your PVC registration. So you know if you're still on course and that before the end of the year, you'll be getting your card. Because that card is important. That is the starting point of everything.
Absolutely.
So we've spoken about PVCs and you as a young person, how to check the status of your registration, knowing that before the end of the year, everybody should get their card. So what next? Who are the candidates we're voting for? Do we even know the political parties? Do you know how credible these people? Do you know what qualities to look out for? Chinelo.
Okay, so before I comment on that, I would like to probably, let's say, is it confession or something? This is actually my first time of registering to vote.
Yay! A round of applause, please.
I've been part of those Nigerians that just sit down and say, I beg. These people will come and go and stand under the sun. They will do anything they want to do and rig the election, and my vote will not count. But this time around, I have come out.
Very passionate.
Yes, I registered. That was, and I was among those that did probably my own will come out from what she said. My own will come out in November.
Okay.
In 2 months' time. And then to add to the information out there, if for any reason you misplaced your temporary voter's card, because when I registered, they printed the temporal card for me. There's nothing to worry about, right? So you just INEC actually has a list. So when you get to the closest INEC office, anywhere you are in your district, you just go there and tell them they check for your name. They actually check for your name and still give you your permanent voter's card. So that's not a problem. It's in their website.
But you also have an account. If you registered online, you have an account with them.
Portal account.
Yeah, the portal account. So you just go there, log in your password and everything.
Everything will still come out. Okay, because I know our own little way of this, how the Sage is, our office also go to remote villages in Abuja here, and they always complain they don't know computer, they don't do these things. So we always try to tell them, okay, even if you don't, INEC has a list. So even if you misplace the paper being given to you, you can always get your PVC at the end of the day. Then when it comes to political parties, right? And I also must confess again that this hardship in Nigeria actually made me to stop sitting on the fence. I started listening to news by force. I started trying to follow up, and when it comes to candidates, like Ngozi said before we actually started the show, that what made her laugh, where even news people, the media will call APC, PDP, Labour Party, and the rest, and 15 others. So anybody that is not following you actually think that it's just a 3-horse race, right? Which is absolutely not it. Actually, INEC has actually printed Okay, first of all, there are over 90 political parties in Nigeria.
90.
Over 90. But for 2023 elections, we have 18 parties that will be contesting for the post of president and the vice president. And when you go to INEC website, it's actually a PDF. You can actually download this and look at them. Their names are there, their age, their qualification, educational qualifications, right? So you can see that. And then when you talk about, political parties, of course, it's no news that is between APC, PDP, that's the two major ones. And then Labour Party, because Peter Obi, which is the front runner and the presidential candidacy for Labour Party, he's been gaining a lot of grounds and everything. So now he is in the picture. For the APC, their presidential candidate is Ahmed Bola Tinubu. He's the flag bearer for the APC. And then the PDP, we have Atiku Abubakar. And then we also have the Labour Party for Peter Obi. And likewise, 15 others. A lot of other parties.
There's a female presidential.
Oh, there is?
No, just one. Out of the 18 of them, it's just one party that has a female representation. Okay. Yeah. Yes. And another interesting thing I like about this is that, people are always very concerned about youths being involved in politics.
Yes, because I was going to ask that.
Exactly. So now, even if, yes, we know that the prominent political parties don't have youths in it, they are the front runners. But I was actually happy to see the Accord Party, the very first Accord Party. There is Imomolen Christopher or something is the presidential aspirant, and he's actually like 38.
Wow.
Yes, he's 38. And then you also have another party like Boot Party or something. Their vice presidential candidate is also under 36. Yes. So it's actually
so we have young people on board.
Wow. Yes, even if they are not there like the popular ones, baby steps, we're getting there. It was an encouragement. I saw it, I was happy. I'm like, okay. We don't have the whole 70s and 60s only. We have young people that are actually among this. So now we have a work cut out for us as youths. Research. We need to read. We need to, because another beauty about this supposed 3-horse race and other people is that this main candidate, this supposed 3-horse race is that they have actually served in government before.
Yeah, they have,
which makes it perfect, so that we will have something to judge them with.
Yeah.
Ahmed Bola Tinubu of the APC has been the governor of Lagos State, a whole Lagos. So we have a lot of things to look at on how what his regime was like. Yeah. While Atiku Abubakar served as vice president of Obasanjo from 1999 to 2007, while Peter Obi served as the governor of Anambra State. So these people are people that you can go, you can verify. These are verifiable things. You can actually go and see their pedigree. You see what they did, and then match it with the problems we're facing now, the insecurity problems, and then match what everybody is preaching out there, and the one that suits what you believe that will, bring about a new Nigeria, and then another important thing before I allow my esteemed is that, in this new Nigeria and everything, for me personally, I will be looking for a candidate that has youth at heart.
Yeah, true.
I will be looking for a candidate that will include us.
Yeah.
That will have a lot of more youth representation. Right? Sure. Yes, because everybody has their different manifesto on what they're focusing on. Because when this happens over time, it will help youth to actually be more politically involved. Because imagine where APC and PDP, when you want to pick a form that you want to run for presidency and they're telling you 100 million. Where did I keep 100 million? How many youths can afford the 100 million naira? It's actually so expensive. So now when youth also economically engaged and financially buoyant, they could actually be part of the process. And in the long run, to actually get us to where we want to be.
So aside the track record and having youth inclusive governance, what else should we look out for? Because many young people might actually have that PVC and not be sure of who to vote for. I know in the host of The Sage, Dr. Kechi Obuago, extensively spoke about this in the episode Call to Action. So I will enjoy everyone to go back and watch that episode. She spoke detailed about qualities every candidate, credible candidate, must have and we must look out for. But you as a young person, what will attract you to vote for someone?
Yes, thank you very much. In addition to what everybody has beautifully said, beyond the candidates, we should also look at those that are around the candidate.
Wisdom.
Because we were told during Goodluck Jonathan's administration that he's such a wonderful guy. It's only the people around him. We keep hearing that.
The so-called cabals.
We're told that President Muhammadu Buhari is such a wonderful person. He has the interests of Nigeria. It's just those around him. So at this time around, we should also look at those around whoever wants to vote.
True.
Because he's not going to run alone. He's not going to lead the country alone. He will need aides. He will need support staff and all that. So let us look at the people as well, running or trying to supporting them right now, because
those in their campaign committees,
a chunk of their appointments, a chunk of those who will be around the next president is those around him now. Very importantly, nobody can become president of Nigeria without the youth forming the drive behind the person. You need to go out for a campaign, not the old men that will go out or old women that will go out. It's the young people.
Exactly.
The youth people will go out. You will need to do a lot of social media campaign and reaching out and all that, outreach and all that. It's the young people who will do that, not the old people. I think Nigeria has about 43 million internet users. I mean, so active social media users. And these people are still young people. And you see all these presidential candidates as we have them today, have one certain handle, trying to preach, trying to tell their story, trying to tell. And there's a young man behind that screen. There's a young person behind that screen. So we are all involved. We certainly find our ways into it, because again, without us, nobody can win. Without young people, nobody can win elections. So they have their way. We have our ways in. It's not left for us to watch for those values we want to.
Yes.
What are those things that will benefit me as a young person? It's not the peanuts that we get now. So why am I saying this? What you will get for handling somebody's social media or performing a certain role or the other for that moment may not just be enough, because 2 years down the line, a year down the line, that amount of money you've made will be no more.
So, sorry, I'm going to turn to Ngozi now, because what we've said so far is that as a young person, first and first, it's beyond just having your PVC. It's beyond just saying you have this candidate who we hope is credible, because now we're giving you what to look out for in a candidate, that we say this person is right to vote. You also need to be actively involved in the electoral process. Rachel had mentioned that you can work as an ad hoc staff in there, so that you can monitor what is going on as regards to voting. And now we've also mentioned that you can also be active part in political parties. But what I'm now saying, that as a young person, it's easy to, you want to just take it as a job. How do you have that nationalistic mindset that you and that political party, what your mission there is that the right thing is done. And at the end of the day, we have a credible candidate who is elected. So I'm trying to, I'm wondering, is it just go and work in INEC and monitor, or just be part of the political party? What is it as a young person that is that has the opportunity to be in that circle? How to effectively use it?
Anyway, first and foremost, for the candidates to be selected, the delegates had to vote in the primaries and all that, even though we're also involved in the campaign and all that, but we know it was left for the delegates to choose. So each political party has presented their candidate. So this is the candidate we want for this election. And we have checked, okay, is this person, does he have integrity? What are the person's milestones in the course of the person's previous leadership? What did the person achieve? Was the person held accountable? Is this somebody you can talk to share, oh, this is working, this is not working, what are you going to do? Is this somebody that has the youth's ears? So now, all those, I would say this phase has passed, because everybody by now should have a candidate they want to vote for, because they've seen these qualities that they want in their leader. So the next step for us now is to vote, which is the action word, which is now time to do. So what we're going to do when we get our PVCs, on the day of election, we go very early. If you have to carry water and snacks in your bag, please carry, so that when you go there, after your accreditation and you vote, you stand there and watch your vote to be counted.
Yes.
Because it's not enough for you to vote and go. A lot of things happen when they vote and go. Do you understand? Like, the first time I voted was the last election. And it was quite interesting, because we all went out because we wanted to, to have a say, we wanted to vote and all that. In fact, we went like as a church, we went as a group. You know, our center was close to the church. Even our priest was there, gingering everybody, you know, with his motorbike, like, oh, we're going to vote, we're going to do that. Everybody voted, and they said, no, we are going to stay till they count the votes, you know. And so God be the glory, was peaceful because they could see that these ones are not going anywhere. They didn't come here to play, you know. So we voted, and everybody waited, and the vote was counted. You know, there's this kind of joy, this kind of excitement, you know, when you see youth who really want a change and they're doing everything to change it. So for us, what we can do is to vote and guard our votes.
True.
Then while we are believing, I think this whole electronic system thing, transmission thing is an amazing development, even though I think some days ago they were debating on the news that the one for Osun State, there was some tampering, or some people wanted to hack it, or they didn't want to hack it and all that, but it wasn't successful, even though INEC is assuring us that it is security tight, you know. But they are telling them, okay, since people have tried to hack this thing, why don't you beef up your security and make sure that really, really, really security tight, you know? So with that kind of a thing, those who have voted, you can be in the house and there's a website where you're checking the results. In maybe Lokogoma, the vote of this, you know. So there's going to be like a limited manipulation of the results, you know.
Thanks to
but
that.
It also has its own risk. You know, Nigerians, we are very sharp. They are very, very intelligent. Somebody can still hack somewhere and still manipulate the result, you know. But when you vote and you stand to watch and make sure that the vote is counted, and that for you have done your part, and then you move on. Do you understand? When you do your part, you go home and then you're watching results, or probably you are there, you're on the internet or the website, making sure that what they counted in your presence is what is reflecting on the website. Once that is achieved, you have done your little bit.
And we should also be very quick to blow the whistle. For every young Nigerian, for all these things we are talking about, all this process, certainly we're going to have 1 or 2 young persons involved in the entire process. If as an ad hoc staff, for instance, of INEC, and you discover some persons are trying to connive to manipulate the process, or to manipulate the process, you speak up. You blow the whistle.
Facebook Live now, so
when you get to any place. But first and foremost, try to be safe, you know, try to be safe. There will be people at the polling units that want to influence your vote, give you money. They call it vote buying. They want to pay you money. No, you are going to watch out for all this. And these are the things that are going to come to you as young people. So we should be prepared. And this is what we want to do. This is what we want to achieve. And we are not going back. So quickly, we must look out for where things are going wrong, and we must speak out.
Speak out.
Once evil is brought to light, it loses its efficacy. It becomes very weak.
Wow. We've heard a lot. And now we see that beyond your PVC and beyond having that person you want to vote for, there's a lot of things to look out for. And there's still a lot to do, even as a young person. So stay tuned. Don't leave yet. By next week, the discussion continues.